It's Tigs Tonight.
Yes, it is. It is Tigs Tonight. Happy Tuesday night. It is good to see everybody out there. We got a big show. Got a big show tonight, boys. Big show tonight, boys. JR and Blasey, all three of us.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge show. It's going to be one of the biggest shows of the year, some say.
Biggest show ever. Biggest show ever, guys. Hey, this Donald Trump thing has taken off so much. Last night I was at a dinner with an orthopedic surgeon I'd never met before. And this guy literally we sat there and had a 2-hour dinner. Cool cat, right? I kid you not, of that 2 hours, an hour and 20 minutes was him imitating Donald Trump. Everything he would do. I'm going to tell you what, guys. I mean, he was really proud of it. He was good. It was really good. Yeah, okay. I thought it was great. I almost asked him, could I record it? But I didn't. I didn't know him that well, But everything he would stop, he would drop into a Donald Trump tone. It was so funny.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
The president's a character of himself. I love it.
Yeah. Well, he was a character before he ever became president, and the whole.
Dude, y'all remember The Apprentice thing?
He was a character even before The Apprentice,
right?
But then that took him to another level.
The Apprentice thing changed the game because that was the height of the TV shows that were on during that time. Were all reality based, some kind of show. Like you remember that was coming right off of Fear Factor. Fear Factor's on for like 20 years. It's top thing. Just outrageous. And then it got into the Survivors and that was the height of that. And he came along and that show was so good. I mean, it was great. That was one of the last major network shows that I was enthralled with and was engaged with.
Omarosa, right? Omarosa.
Yeah. They'd have a country guy and an old soul singer and this one. And they just had a great mixture. And it was really chaos because if it was scripted, some obviously we know, but it was loose. And it was real. I just thought that show was really good because it was really like taking people out of their normal comfort zone and seeing who could thrive and survive in these situations, which I was surprised a lot of those people got on it, but he nailed it. He was, it was great timing for a great character like that. And but even before that, I mean, what's the Home Alone, who does the little boy run into? It's Trump.
To get the directions.
He's always been around. And all those years of running Atlantic City and the casinos and hotels having the big events, he's always there. So
you're right.
That's but he said he didn't want to do it. Hope he's doing it for the right reasons. I think he is. Let's go.
Yeah. You know who I think was the most impressive of all of the Celebrity Apprentice guests or people? John Rich. Have you ever had any run-ins with him?
Oh yeah.
He seems like what you see is what you get. He's a go-getter, very well-spoken,
Oh yeah. And he's an entrepreneur. He's got several things going on. Yeah, he's a go-getter.
Yeah. He was impressive in that show. Like that was really where you were like, dang, okay, that dude busts his ass,
Yep.
And it made me respect. I had no issues with their music at all, but it made me respect their music a little bit more of like, they really worked their ass off to get to where they're at. This isn't just some kind of a gimmick that they've got, it's sustaining. They still rocking and rolling. I've never seen them. I'd like to.
Yeah, and they helped a lot of people along the way, too. They kept a big entourage of people they believed in, and they helped a lot of people. I mean, that's Gretchen Wilson, Cowboy Troy, James Otto. I mean, there's tons of people that came out of that circle. But, yeah, he was a go-getter. I do remember that specifically. That was one that stands out because he was that good. Because they'd all – I mean, it's been a while, obviously, since any of us saw the show the first time it aired. But, man, that was a go-getter type show. I mean, it was when they'd have those things, they'd have to raise up some money to come do this and call their friends and get this and that going. I mean, it showed you who really wanted to go out there and do it and who didn't,
That's exactly right.
And then he got a classic catchphrase, "You're fired." I mean, he's fired. And obviously it's been said a million times, but that was the hook.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it might as well have been Hogan's music, I mean, it was
That's exactly right.
Yep.
That's exactly right. So good, man. It's so good. Well, let's check into with the chat. Let's see who we got in here tonight.
Yeah,
Big E. Big E says, everybody, please hit that thumbs up. Please do that. Please do that. Hit that thumbs up. Share it. If you're listening to this on Spotify after the fact, or that you're hearing this on the Bubba exclusive, wherever you're hearing this at, subscribe to us. Go to our YouTube page. Hit that subscribe button. Go to find us on all of our socials at Tigs Bits Podcast. We're growing. It's fun. We want to keep growing, keep getting bigger, and all of that good stuff. So please, 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 by all means, do that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the MVP, or one of Brian Gilson, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Brian Gilson.
And
only the inner Tiggy Iggies, I threw it out there, know that Thomas Gilson is actually Brian Gilson, and we get it, and that's
right.
fun. I now do not ever want you to change your name, Brian, because you're going to be anybody who starts getting in there as we get bigger. They're going to be like, why does he keep calling this guy Brian? His name's Thomas. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
You're in the egg. You're in the egg.
Just screw everybody up. It's talking of MVPs. Speaking of MVPs, Paul Rogers.
Yes.
My brother.
Yes, sir. What's up, big Paul?
Man,
How you doing, buddy?
Appreciate you, Paul. Appreciate you. Can't have a show?
Terry Wayne.
Terry Wayne. We got to have a Terry Wayne in the house, and we do.
My God.
And we do. Probably, you can tell us, Terry, freshly back from Hollywood, California, and we will see if
he went
he's
out to
still.
Hollywood. I bet he's changed, man. He's probably different. I bet his profile picture's even different. You know what I mean? He got a tan now. You know
he does.
Everything changed.
Everything changed.
He'll never be the same, will he?
He was going to go hit a smash burger place. I still haven't heard back since then, but he's in the chat, so that is good. That is good. He may be banned on Facebook. Who knows? He's been on there for a while now. I feel like it's getting time for him to do something that's going to piss somebody off, and he don't care.
Train wreck.
That's the fun of it. That's right.
Get this thing off the track, boys.
I love it.
It's too smooth.
Derail it. Derail it. Who we got is Morgan Elizabeth. Rat Queen herself. What is going on? What is happening with you? Like I saw that Alex Stein's got an event in Las Vegas sometime in late April, I believe, 24th,
next
25th,
month,
26th, somewhere in there.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
like a little meet and greet, and I think he's doing some stand up there, and sounds like fun. Fun. Oh yeah, we got Airplane Willie in here. What's up, Airplane Willie? Hell yeah, hell yeah. And
Blasey, are you not
guy?
Blasey, are you not going to try to figure a way to get to Vegas for that deal, the chat rap meetup?
Man, that's probably low likelihood, man. I got this southeast thing going. Yeah. The southeast kind of got me wrapped up right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, she's trying to poach some of us to get to Vegas. Unfortunately, I can't that weekend. I know that for a fact. My April is so booked. I'm booked literally starting this weekend until like maybe the second weekend of May. Like every weekend, something, which is good. No complaints over here. It's going to be fun. Like good content's going to come from some of these bookings as well. So that's going to be fun. Let's see. I thought Grouper Lips. Oh yeah, Grouper Lips. What's
great
happening?
name?
Grouper Lips. I love Grouper Lips. Good dude, man. I love it. Yeah, April 26th is when that is. So look, if you are able to get out to Vegas, get out there, go check it out, and I mean, you're not going to be disappointed. No doubt about it. Boys, it's always fun to see who we have in the chat. Speaking of something fun, man, my daughter sent me this morning a little Instagram message, and she said, I don't know if this is true or not. So it's always fun when one of those starts. But I responded back after looking at it and went, well, we've got our first thing that we can talk about on the show tonight, because I don't know if this is true, and maybe y'all have heard about it. Guys in the chat, guys and ladies, maybe you have as well. Let us know. Apparently, there is a passenger profile that came out, for VIPs, and I think you could probably attest to this, JR, that celebrities have like a VIP list of their foods and whatnot that they have whenever they're going around to do shows and whatnot. Well, this was a passenger profile airplane deal.
Preference sheet.
Yeah, there it is. That's what it's called.
On that particular thing, it would be a preference sheet. Normally, like when an artist goes out, you send what is called the rider, which on the rider it lists all specifics that would entail anything and everything for an event, and then a preference sheet is like when you would send out for like if you were going to be on a plane or a boat or something like that, and they were feeding you or something like that. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to see if this will. Let's see.
Because like in your rider, it'll have like
look.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see.
There you go.
Passenger profile.
Yeah. So a passenger profile. Apparently, food preferences: breakfast, KFC original chicken breast, mashed potatoes, corn biscuits, scrambled eggs with jelly, salmon, low fat, stuff like that. Lunch, KFC original chicken breast.
Wow.
Mashed potatoes, gravy on the side, corn on the cob, biscuits, basically same thing. Dinner, KFC original chicken breast.
Can't be this. This can't be real.
That way, I have a problem believing it. But dessert, rarely eats dessert, but will ask for it on Sunday. 1 out of 10 if you fly with him. Eats mostly gum and mints for dessert, or will pick at whole fruit. Interesting. White wine and Diet Coke can on every flight. 7-Up, Orange Crush, or Fruit Punch. Will sometimes drink tequila, gin, or Crown Royal. But KFC
was consistent. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, baby.
I don't know. That seems a little much. Man, I don't know, damn. Every meal. Come on now. I like KFC as much as any man or human or animal, period. Anything I eat KFC, but
that's a lot of KFC, man.
That's a lot of KFC, man.
You think if you ate that every day, I don't think you'd live to be as old as Michael Jackson did, even though he died way too young. That's tough. That'd have to be tough, eating fried chicken that many meals a day.
How does he stay that skinny?
That's what I'm saying.
There's no way he could do, but he did die young. Relatively speaking.
I find that hard to believe. I bet I
didn't cross-reference this. I didn't check it or anything.
Sometimes he's like, you know what? Maybe a PB&J over fried chicken right now. Maybe I'm just going to change it a little.
Let's be honest. Like, I don't know when this sheet was made, but like in KFC it's garbage.
KFC was garbage in 2003.
It said 03, yeah.
Yeah, they were garbage then.
I don't know, man.
No, KFC was probably still rocking then.
If you told me, if it said
crappy
fried chicken from the Calf in Santa Rosa Beach, I would believe that list. You know what I mean? That's like that would make sense to me. Like I get it, Michael. You know what I mean? MJ.
Yeah, if I told you, Kitty's Cafe, I could have the chicken pot pie
Blue Store chicken.
Like I could probably eat that just about every meal. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know. The same thing, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, though. I don't know. You don't think the man ever y'all don't think Michael Jackson ever wanted a bowl of cereal? Look at him. The man looks like a guy who would eat a bowl of cereal.
He just said grape nuts. Yeah. That's what it looks like, right? Just
Captain Crunch or Fruit Loops,
just
or just
lean. You know what I mean?
Fun cereal. Like a quarter cup of it at that.
Yeah.
Well, then he went and got in a hyperbaric chamber. He was ahead of the curve. He probably, slept in a sweatsuit and hyperbaric chamber and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, he was way out in front.
He did. Over the line. What's up? Hey now.
Hey, they had Lummy on their show this past week.
I saw that. I haven't
some of that. It was great.
I haven't been able to see the show yet, but I saw a little clip. Saw he was on there. Definitely. I have so many shows I've got to catch up on.
Time out. I'm sorry. So Lummy was on their show. I asked Lummy on our show
where
over
you been
a year
on that
ago.
one, Blasey?
How did that happen? Lummy didn't. Hold on. I'm kind of mad about this. I'm a little butthurt. Seriously? So they're like the new shiny object, aren't they?
No, it's fine. Yeah, but Seth came on for us. He's just shining him up a little bit. It'll be fine. It was good.
I'm happy for
Lummy
him.
will come
on.
Well,
you got to remember they did it while they were off on that off week. You didn't ask him on the off week. You maybe you need to be a little smarter with your ask.
Maybe we don't.
Sounds like they beat you to the punch. Is what happened, Blasey.
He said he needed to run it by Bubba, but he never reached out to me. So I'm kind of mad at Lummy. I don't think it's anybody else's fault. Lummy.
No, I don't think we
just generating heat over the line. I love it. Just keep on generating that heat, baby.
I'm just jealous. I'm not. I'm just jealous. I want Lummy on the show too.
I'm inspired. I'm actually inspired. I'm taking a whole different angle on this. I'm inspired. I look at it as we should definitely have not bothered on their week off. and our time will come. Let him warm up, and then we'll get to him when he gets ready, and we'll get back with it. We had Seth on, and that was great. I'd love to have Seth on again. He was great.
He was good.
But I'm sure Lummy would. You know how it is. He's got a million things. Like, think about how much stuff he's got going on. Keeping up with just Bubba, not to mention helping him with all the other stuff.
God, I'll help him. Just God help him.
So I will give him a pass. I'm inspired. We just need to reach back out. I'm sure if we get a good timing for something to talk about, I'm sure he'd love to.
Oh yeah. Andrew says I think distracting is a better description of us. You're perfect is what you are, man. Keep on doing it.
No,
great shows.
I
love it, man. Their format looks so good. It's so crisp. It sounds good. They are true professionals. So
hey,
happy
and John Bird, if somebody don't buy you a Bubba shirt here in the next little bit, you let me know, brother, and I got one coming your way.
Damn right.
And you take that to the bank.
That's right.
He deserves.
Make sure John Bird hears this. That we like you, John Bird.
Yeah, you're cool, brother. If they don't get you a shirt, don't worry, brother. JR get you one, Bubba. I got you. Somebody get you one.
No doubt. Oh, some big news. Have not had a chance to announce this. I've been so busy and I haven't seen everything. But we got the Cajun Taco Cook-Off joining us in here tonight. The same guy, Mr. Caleb Bryan, who brought us the Cajun Burger Cook-Off, is going to have the Cajun Taco Cook-Off later on this summer. I believe it's in June. Let everybody know in the chat, Caleb, when that's going to be. Of course, we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hope to be able to make it down there. I think I'll be able to, just not 100%. We'll see. I want to. The want is there, and I do believe it's in the same place where the Cajun Burger Cook-Off was. So, fun stuff, man. So many cook-offs, so many things going on. That's going
to be hey, and all our friends got so much stuff going on. I saw that Gabby's got her seasonings rocking. I see Austin posting killer content as always. I mean, everybody looks so busy and working. I'm so happy for everyone. It's awesome. Good time.
Yeah, man. Heck yeah. The Stirring the Pot podcast won a crawfish cook-off over the weekend. Just
awesome, dude.
We only associate with champs over here, guys.
That's right.
That's all we do.
Spring has sprung, boys. Spring has sprung, and they're out getting after it. I like it. Yeah.
Speaking of spring and sprung, and I had some crawfish this past weekend with my boy Gil. Cooked some crawfish. First batch of bugs of the year, and they were spot on, baby.
Money, huh?
As always. Yeah. Money. GBJ never lets us down.
Hey, something I want to mention before I forget, random, because we were just talking about it. It's spring and sprung and everything's rocking and rolling. Somebody we need to have back on the show soon, our little buddy Murphy Laird, guitar slinger extraordinaire. I talked to him yesterday, actually, or the day before. I talked to Murph for a while. He has been, of course, he's been playing 2 gigs a week. He's playing guitar all the time. What? And he's actually going in April up to Nashville to a camp hosted by Mr. Bart Walker, who's a friend of mine, and he plays guitar for none other than Hank Williams Jr. and also Jamie Johnson. And he's doing a guitar camp, and Murph's going to it. So I told him either before or definitely after, if not before, we can get before he goes, but we definitely want to after he gets back to tell us all about his trip to guitar camp in Nashville.
Yeah. He's playing tonight at North Beach because Hal called me earlier. I missed it, but he finally texted and said he's playing on Tuesday nights now at North Beach. Got a standing gig there.
Yeah.
He's got a couple
He's
gigs
13,
a week.
y'all. He's 13.
That's unbelievable.
He's got his little cart. He drags his little cart with his amp and he goes and plays gigs. I love it. We need to get Murph back on soon.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Got to give, I'm glad you brought Murph up. Got to give a shout out to Riley because this is the only show we're doing this week. By the time we go live again next week, it'll already have happened. My boy Riley turns 13 next Monday on the 31st.
Oh, happy birthday,
Riley turns 13.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Happy birthday, boy.
Yeah, man.
1-3.
It's going to be
1-3.
Unreal. Can't believe it. It's
crazy.
It's crazy. I have a almost 22-year-old daughter and now a 13-year-old son. I'm a little old.
You are old.
It won't be long. He'll be driving you to cooking competitions and all kinds of stuff here in just a minute.
Yeah. I hope so. That'd be great. I can loosen up a little bit more at them. June 14th. That is when it will be. June 14th. He just got the approval an hour ago. So there you go. Breaking news on Tigs Bits. DeCajun Taco Cook-Off. June 14th. Highway 90 Bridge, Morgan City, Louisiana. It is going to be a fun event. Boys, did y'all see that Tiger Woods and Vanessa Trump are now official?
Who I saw the picture. I didn't recognize who it was. I just thought he had a new girlfriend. She's a Trump. Now, who is Vanessa Trump? Is that a daughter?
That's Donald Trump Jr.'s
ex-wife.
Kai's mom, right? The Kai
Don Jr.'s
golfer.
ex-wife. So she's not related to a Trump. She was married to a Trump.
Married to a Trump. Her daughter is a Trump and is a good golfer, and now has Tiger Woods as a mentor. So
it's pretty handy.
Pretty handy.
Smart lady.
Really
super smart. Love Tiger.
Smart
Tiger's
lady.
A great guy. Don Jr. was a dumbass. We can't hold that against him.
Tiger's really good. He's tired. He's chilled out.
He's got what he needs. Yeah. Not you. Yeah. So, crazy.
Yeah,
crazy,
but
cool.
I didn't realize that. That's what I was trying to think. Now I didn't know if it was I didn't know the connection. To, so okay, that makes sense. She's not actually a blood. So there's no heir. Tiger's not married inside the White House now, basically, is what I'm saying.
Not
correct. No.
Just a crossover with a granddaughter.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Has the granddaughter. Yeah. And they all still seem to be very amicable and all.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
Page and all.
The elite has to keep their tentacles connected. Their little tentacles have to touch the elites. The deep state continues.
Tiger, hey, look, Donald Tiger were like this. Now they're full tentacle.
Let's make sure we get the greatest athlete to touch. Let's touch.
That's exactly what it is.
Let's touch.
I want to play golf with him 3 times a week. He already has.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Yes, he has.
I love it.
Covers a lot of ground.
He covers a lot of ground.
Really big guy. Really big guy. Really strong guy. Really strong guy. Hits it a long way, guys. I know you ever seen him hit a golf ball, but he hits it a really long way.
We'll bring him with Herschel. We're going to go play golf.
With Herschel.
Is that Gates? Who's that at the ball? Is that Gates?
No, this is
it was Matt Gates. He got his hair slicked back. Okay.
Matt Gates, well, I'll give him credit. He doesn't have that kind of gray hair yet, but he's going to get there pretty soon if he keeps his lifestyle up. I promise.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is this is our defense secretary, Pete Hegseth. I guess that's how you pronounce his last name.
Yep.
Gotten a little bit of hot water over some messaging on this app called Signal. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Signal app. I'm not. I don't know. No. I didn't know what it was until today.
It's a chat. You can go back and forth, just encrypted. So
it's very safe. It's end-to-end encryption.
Encryption. It's a better way to text, basically. You can do groups and stuff.
Right. So, but a little bit of sensitive information was leaked on it, which is not good. And so here's a quick little take. Apparently, Bubba talked about that on Bubba talked about that on the show today. I would think
you're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again.
I think the problem is that people are outraged that they may have been communicating about it amongst each other through an unsecured line. It's an issue that has happened for the last 20 years when we hear about,
there's all kinds of leaks.
No, it's not just leaks. It's people using non-secured communication devices to communicate. It happened with Hillary. It happened with Obama. It happened with Trump the first time. It happened with Bush. It happens with all of them because for some reason cannot understand that there is a rule that you're supposed to stay on secured government communication devices. And for some reason, every administration just ignores that rule.
Dr. Dan is just absolutely dead on. It's crazy how that keeps happening over and over and over again. Like, you know what I mean? Like you communicate in one place. You don't go to Signal. You don't go to Snapchat, because it disappears. Like, you got to stay in that thing.
Government thing. Yeah.
Stay in it.
Guys, I was using Snapchat. I thought it was going to be gone. I was going to send it to Pete. Here's the plan.
Oopsie daisy.
Sorry about that.
We're striking Israel at 145. Yeah, it's like Yemen. That's basically what it said. That's how
Yemen.
they do that. This Goldberg dude that who's with the Atlantic, and I know that the administration doesn't really care for the Atlantic, and understandably so. But Jeffrey Goldberg's the guy's name, and apparently the details for the war plans, is as he called it. War plans. Well, I mean, that would insinuate we are at war. We're not, but apparently there were some U.S. airstrikes on some targets in Yemen. And then, so once that happened, he had his confirmation. But I'm like, that's kind of odd. This dude would be accidentally in a signal group text. And I kind of have a problem believing in it a little bit too. But if true and can be proven, whoever it is, whatever administration, whoever the upper person is, you got to be smarter than that. And whatever you're using to communicate with, you better be dang sure before you hit send that it's all clear. And that's just kind of the world we live in these days. I mean, it can happen. I've accidentally texted people all the time. I've accidentally responded to somebody else, just to y'all in our group, more than one time.
Oh yeah. I've replied and talked smack to somebody and realized, oh crap, I sent to the person I was talking smack about to the person.
That's the worst.
Oh yeah.
At that level though, man, that is a non-event. Like that should never happen. I'm sorry. I still think that's a non-event that should never happen. Period. At that level, you don't accidentally send it on the wrong platform. That is like in surgery, taking off the wrong leg. You know what I mean? That's a non-event. That should not happen. That is not. There's no excuse for that. So that's my opinion on that. Like, whatever. Yeah. I mean, it happened, but like it shouldn't ever happen. So
no, it should not ever happen.
You shouldn't even have other things if you don't. You should.
Yeah, she was.
I just think if you're communicating about war or anything else like that's your first sign of like, it's time to get pretty serious and lock in this message that I'm about to send. I don't need to be somewhere half-ass paying attention, eating some popcorn or talking to a friend or having a glass of wine or a beer or whatever and be like, send it. Oh, crap. Oops, I didn't mean to send that to Goldie. Yeah. Hey, Goldie. I need you to scratch that,
Goldberg.
I'm
featuring Goldberg too. Goldberg, But anyway.
Terry, do you really think that it happened? He says it's a non-event, and that's why I think it's a big deal. It's do you think it actually happened? I don't know. I haven't seen the proof. So who knows, man?
It should never happen though, but I don't know if it happened either, but it should never happen.
It should never happen. And this should never happen either. And this isn't a very perky or fun story, but it's something that I'd never heard of until I saw this. Have you ever heard of someone dying due to food intoxication?
I mean, I picture like intoxicated, just overindulging in food is what that sounds like to me. Like just one particular food product.
That's exactly what I would think too. Like it really got in
on
the ribeye.
What is the definition?
So what it is it's basically food poisoning. So a young man
they were allergic to?
No, well, they don't know. So the whole story that came out from this was Brett Gardner, the former New York Yankee great. His son, his 14-year-old son, Miller, he tragically died during a family vacation in Costa Rica. Because they suspect that he died of asphyxiation from possible food intoxication after he and other family members fell ill, with Miller passing away in his sleep.
Oh my God! Of
course, they've all left and things like that. But I did look up like, what the hell is food intoxication? And basically, it's just food poisoning. Is what it is.
So it could be like a certain type of food, a certain kind of spice, a certain kind of something that was made with it that they weren't used to and couldn't handle, or was it like
what it sounds
bad,
like?
Is it bad oysters? You know what I'm saying? Or is it like, is there or is he secretly allergic to some kind of spice that they use down there? Who knows? but they all got sick.
Sounds like they were all sick.
Yeah, so what if it was like salmonella type thing? You think they would have just said that? They would have said such a vague, uncommon term that they used.
Yeah.
That's not something we're used to hearing. We don't, everybody's got to look it up because it's not and I understand that happens. I think, wasn't that one of the Von Erichs? Didn't he eat something bad overseas and got real sick? David, the oldest one, he died, ate bad sushi or something. Something like that. And if you know people who've eaten bad oysters and bad seafood and stuff, I mean, it'll make you sick. But I don't know if you're young and you maybe you were sick already. I mean, you just never know. It's tragic. That's awful. Awful.
It's terrible,
awful.
Man. They're doing a toxicology report and all of that. So, I mean, it's
and
hopefully
it's
whatever
else.
Hopefully they can find the cause of it and prevent it, from ever hopefully happening again. It's just crazy.
Well, I was reading, so it wasn't asphyxiation. That was the weirdest part to me. It's like you got really sick, you laid on your back, you threw up, and you aspirated, right, or something. That's what you're thinking. And so, but it wasn't that, but it was the food and intoxication is what they're still leaning on. But they're still having to conduct tests. I was just reading about this and preliminary ruling. They ruled out asphyxiation as the cause of death, but it's still the old food intoxication. I've never even heard that term.
And you work in the medical field, that you think that'd be something you would have at least heard. Or one of us three, as much general knowledge as we have on things, you think one of us would have heard that before, but none of us have.
It's crazy.
That's what popped out. When I was just looking at things, I saw the term food intoxication, and I went, "What is that?" That's what caught my eye, and then that's what's trending. A terrible story, but something that just never heard of that before. Just never heard of it.
Be careful. Yeah, I know.
Got to be careful.
Speaking about food and things, I saw this picture. I don't know if you can see that. That's a picture of Hank Jr. He got a big turkey on opening day.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you dang right he did.
Yeah.
Bo Stiefel says, look how happy that sucker. Look again. Look how happy that sucker is.
Look at him.
Look how happy he is.
He don't ever smile that much.
No, he is so happy right there.
Nice beard coming off that turkey. Yep.
Yeah, nice one.
Love it, man.
70-something years old.
Just
tragic story, and it feels like it's at least calmed down some. There's still always a tragic something on the horizon and right in the rearview mirror every day. But there through COVID, man, or during the shutdown, it seemed like, man, we lost so many legends and stars and people from our childhood, and wasn't necessarily due to that. It was just timing,
right.
Yeah.
And it seems like some of that's eased off, but you still have one, Gene Hackman the other week. That was awful. We were still talking about that, how tragic that whole situation was.
Terrible, man.
Terrible,
Yeah, I agree.
You think is and you watch these shows and you think as far as we've come and there's cameras and there's this and everybody's so interconnected in the webs and this and that, but there's still ways that things happen right under your nose and nobody even knows about.
Like, how did that happen? Has there been any update on Gene Hackman and that death and like what happened there? I haven't heard anything.
Yeah. She had this illness and died. And
before him,
and he was dementia and just was in the house for a while by himself. And
are you serious? That's what happened.
And the dog was in its kennel, because there wasn't anybody to let it out.
So nobody was there to take care of him. He just died too.
Walked around, didn't know.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and see, that's what to me was like. There's nobody checking in. There's no housekeepers, no cleaners. There's no. I guess if they were taking care of themselves. I mean, it's just tragic. Like I said, just tragic, just tragedy all around.
I didn't know that.
Sad,
man, that is awful. Awful. Yeah. Okay. Well,
terrible way to go out for just like damn. That's the story for the end of Gene Hackman. It's just I don't want to remember him. I don't want to remember it that way. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to remember that's the way it goes out. Over time, we won't. It. The time kind of, we talked about Michael Jackson and KFC at the top of this show, for God's sakes. Right. Time heals.
We were talking about Michael Jackson's doctor again.
Still.
Yep. Them old trusty doctors. Old trusty Western
trusty
medicine.
Doctors.
Oh, buddy.
Speaking of old trusty medicine, Blasey, do you have us a nice little, number one, a report from the Rattlesnake Rodeo, and then number two, a follow-up with that of maybe a juicy little redneck story this week?
Man, you know what? I got both, as a matter of fact. And
Yes.
absolutely. And so, it's funny. So I was not going to the Rattlesnake Rodeo, and I didn't go to the Rattlesnake Rodeo on Saturday. Amanda and her friend Megan went, and they had a blast. They got pit passes. So they're right there at the stage where the stage wraps around a small little area. Got to see Tracy Lawrence just tearing it up on Saturday night. And then on Sunday, Megan wasn't feeling as good as she should have been feeling probably on Sunday. So she backed out, and that opened the door for me. So I got to go see Shenandoah on Sunday at Opp, Alabama. So
nice.
I timed it just right. I need to go help my mom. So I'm like, hey, I'll be in Opp if you need somebody to go with you. So sure enough, she backed out. I was going to help my mom. Yeah, I should have, right? 2 dozen roses. So I got to see Shenandoah. Dude, what a great show, man. They absolutely killed it. That was awesome, dude. I had a blast. It was Confederate Railroad Friday night, which neither one of us got to see, but Amanda got to see that on Saturday. I got her to get a bunch of video and stuff, so I'll put that together here soon with the snakes and the, everything going on, the music and everything. I got some videos there too. We'll add to it. So, dude, it's so cool. I'm glad to see Opp back on top again. That rodeo was rocking, man. There was a lot of people there. It was a great event. The weather was wonderful. I think people had a blast. So absolute full success in Opp, Alabama for the probably 60 something anniversary.
Wow.
I don't even know.
Been doing it that long.
Yes, a long time. Ever since way back in the day when J.P. Jones decided to wrestle a bear and round up some snakes and start a thing called the Rattlesnake Rodeo. You know what I mean? And it's been rocking ever since. So yeah,
man.
So that was good. That was good. But yeah, on to the redneck stories. And this is something I think y'all are going to be, I know you're going to be able to relate with, is we were the other day hanging out. Where was I? I was at Props, and there was a guy in there, and I got a BC powder. I had a headache, right? And so I was tearing that BC powder off and dumping it in, get me something to drink with it. And he was like, what's that? I was like, that's a BC powder. You don't know what that is? He said, no, man, I was like, where'd you grow up? And it was somewhere like New Jersey or somewhere. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like, yeah, it's more of a Southern thing. And then Amanda was sitting there and said, yeah, it's kind of like sweet tea. You got BC and sweet tea. They kind of go together. Wherever you go, you're going to find them both, And we got to giggling thinking about it. And I was really like going, man, you know what? It's absolutely what it is. It's a straight Southern thing. You know what I mean? Like if you're from the South, and I mean, I don't know if you put the Mason-Dixon line in there pretty much, but that's kind of close to it. Where it hugs, where you find sweet tea, you're going to find a BC powder, and they kind of run together. And I'm in North Carolina this week. I'm in Raleigh. And dude, I didn't realize that BC powders actually originated from North Carolina. So pretty cool correlation there. Yeah.
I'd never really put the two together for BC to be a Southern thing, but if you think about it, there's not a single gas station in the South that you walk in and you don't see that blue and white just looking right at you.
Zero.
And then they changed some colors over the time for different stuff. But, the old traditional, give me that folded up half-ass zigzag and let me dump that down my throat.
Dude, it works. It works.
Yes, it works.
It's the same thing. You start heading south, you get to about Central Florida, they start to fade out BC powders, and so does sweet tea. And by the time you get to South Florida, there's no BC powders and there's no sweet tea. Same thing, you start heading north, they all fade together. They kind of follow the same lines. They overlap. You know what I mean? So
that's interesting.
I just thought it was I was like, you know what? It's funny she said that. Oh, it's kind of like BC powders and sweet tea, or BC and sweet tea. I was like, yep. You nailed it there. BC and sweet tea. Like, so let me see if there's any other facts on that I thought was cool. Because I asked Chat GPT, I was like, is there a correlation? It's like, you're onto something with BC powders and sweet tea. Both have a deep roots in the South, particularly in states like North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. And household staples passed down through generations. Grandma with a sweet tea, grandpa with a BC powder in the back pocket, So
that is
anyway.
That's redneck. That is redneck.
That's South, and some of y'all may not know what we're talking about. That's the thing. It's like, I've heard of this sweet tea, but BC what?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Goody
Paul Rogers says Milo's. Is that how you
Milo's.
pronounce it?
Milo's.
I don't know. Yeah,
I'm surprised Milo's is that far up north. Yeah, Milo's. Yeah,
I love their tea. I buy. If I don't feel like making it in my own little Mr. T, then I'll buy a half gallon of their 0 calorie stuff.
I mean, there it
is. The old blue and white and red, baby. Red, white, and blue is what it is.
Milo's
It's America.
Milo's is out of where, Gadsden or somewhere like that, or Huntsville.
Yeah,
Milo's.
that's an Alabama product because it's a hamburger place. Because you get that meat in a piece with a barbecue sauce on it. They put a meat patty with a piece of another piece of meat and the barbecue sauce and that burger with that Milo sweet tea. It's kind of special.
Right. Moon pie. Yep, that's what they throw it.
That's Harley Taylor right there.
Mardi Gras in Mobile.
Exactly, moon pie and an RC cola. That's pretty.
Yeah, that's
Get
real
headache.
Give me a grape drink, grape Fanta.
Brian says BC powders are great. It works wonders. It does, man. I mean, it'll kill a headache. Just like that. It will. They're so good. They don't taste great.
And there's what they look like, right? They come in a little package and they're powdered up, and you got to hit it. There's a technique in there. You got to hold your breath. Like I don't need one right now, but you tear it and I go sublingual, hold your breath and then wash it down. So you get that instant hit under the tongue and then you finally just wash it on down. That's it. Okay. BC powder.
Hey, Brian likes to wash his down with a warm beer.
That's nothing wrong with that either.
I'm not in on the warm part, but I get it. I mean,
I'm sure there's been a few snorted over the years.
I guarantee you Tommy Lee has snorted some on accident when he was in the South. Yeah. Thought it was something else. You know what I mean? Yeah. Guaranteed. That's a different package than it used to be in. Remember, it used to just come in those wax paper, look like a zigzag in a sense. And
yes, they've changed. Yeah. It's still a waxy type of paper, but I like that when you unfold it. Turn it sideways.
What's the difference in a BC and a Goody powder? Goody's made somewhere else. Is that a Minneapolis product or a different location? Because I'm sure they all started. Didn't all of those come from Aspirin, which is Bayer, which is German pharmacies, is where all that stuff came from? Aspirin and all that originated.
Yeah,
Bayer,
that sounds right.
Still now.
Yeah,
Bayer, owned by Germany.
So you've got like aspirin in there, right? And then you've got caffeine in there, and then I think it's like almost like, is there Tylenol in there too? I mean, it is a trifecta. You know what I mean? It comes at you fast, really effective.
Tylenol is just acetaminophen. That's all that is. Aspirin is acetaminophen. Obviously,
and I don't think it's.
Yeah, those come with a little caffeine. That's the difference. I didn't never realize it had caffeine in it.
That caffeine's what gives it that ride.
Yeah. That's exactly
like an Excedrin migraine. Like an Excedrin migraine will knock out a headache. It has a ton of caffeine in it. That's its delivery method.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm knock on wood. I'm lucky, I guess. I never really have ever had headache. I never really had to take any of that stuff unless I was hungover.
Really?
And it don't really work. No, not really.
It's amazing. I've had so many headaches in my life.
Like I get them. I've gotten them before at a venue when the music's real loud and like I trying to talk over it and stuff. But that's just like that's a crippling thing. You can't. There ain't no way. Nothing will help that. But no, just as far as a normal headache, only like when I've been hungover, but not normally.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate too. I don't have to deal with headaches as much as like my wife does. Bless her heart, has to deal with migraines and all that all the time. I don't have to. I get tension headaches sometimes from sitting out here, sitting like I'm sitting and typing, just piss poor posture, like sitting like I'm doing right now. Starts to hit my neck, and then it'll give me a headache.
Oh yeah,
that headache don't go away unless I fix a position. Like I can't sit out here anymore.
Those are the worst ones, man. Those tension ones, those tension headaches.
I do my DDP diamond cutter. Roll the shoulders back though, and I mean it really does help. And I do that stuff that I learned from DDP yoga, and it does help when I need to stretch. It really helps. I just should do it every single day for about 20 minutes, and things really would change.
Sharice and I, if we catch each other leaned over, like looking straight down at our phones, we'll say tech neck. Don't want to get tech neck.
Bring it up because it's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And we'll do the whole like the string thing, like if you were
and it hadn't been.
It's easy not to with the phones and I mean all this stuff. And man, you take it for granted. I looked around a little bit last couple of days and was like, I got to put this damn phone down, look up. Hey, Rando, I know this is not on our docket for tonight, but have any of you guys seen the new Robert De Niro film, Zero Day?
Yes, I have. Yes,
how about
I have.
that sucker? You want to talk about something we need to break down and dissect on a whole show one of these days?
I liked it, man. It got some
loved
weird reviews, but I got some people giving it bad reviews, and I watched it. I was like, "This is a great movie." I thought it was phenomenal.
It jams a lot of
very
things
good.
in there, but it definitely is a provocative, make you think kind of thing.
It
I
is.
thought it was
It
great.
does. It I like it, and that's exactly what it is. It's not a limited series. It's just a long ass movie.
Long movie.
Is what it is.
It was a movie.
It's just a
I'm
long
done
movie.
with the
movie.
limited series thing. That's just a movie they break, which is great because it gives you
they
longer
break
to
it
tell a
down into
story.
4, 5, 6 parts, whatever it was. I think 4
You don't,
parts.
as long as it's not a bunch of just wasted space, I'm good with it because hell, if it's a good movie, let's just go as long as it needs to take, just like a podcast. Go as long as it needs to take.
One needed that full amount of time to develop that story. And it was still the narrative moved along quickly in it. We aren't going to spoil anything.
Speed there at the end, didn't it?
It did.
If they got real quick.
It got real quick at the end of all of that. So if y'all hadn't seen it, we'll wait a little bit longer so everybody can check it out. But that one's a whole podcast in and of itself.
Because it's conspiracy latent. It's conspiracy latent.
Man, is it?
And comparisons with who's who. I mean, and who they think they took this little part of something from to make this character.
I think De Niro got heat just based off of his politics, and maybe some of that heat came from some. Yeah. They do exist, everybody. Believe it or not, there are right-wing propaganda media people too, not just all left-wing. Those exist, and they probably attacked old De Niro. Which, whatever he said, he puts his own foot in his mouth. I don't care about politics and all that. He's a phenomenal actor, one of the best ever in the history of acting, period. And if this is his crescendo, if this is his send-off in his last movie, then you did a fine one. I know it's not. I hope it's not. But if it is, it's as good. It's as good of anything that he's ever been in. Yeah. I'd say that. He did as good of a job in it as anything that he's been in. And some of the stuff that I heard behind the scenes from it is when they initially pitched this to him, and it was his first quote-unquote TV series, which, again, I still don't look at it that way, but I guess
it's a movie.
He probably does.
Movie.
Yeah. He probably looked at it that way because it was a little bit different, but I don't think that he realized when they pitched it to him, like, he got to do a lot of shit in this one.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah, he's on camera a lot.
He's on camera.
You're in every
like
scene,
80% of the time.
You're 80% of the scene, bro.
Yeah. But he had to work his butt off on that one too.
Yeah, for sure he did. And some different stuff. And hell, he had to jog a bunch. I thought about that one time. They had his back. I was like, I wonder if they're really making him run.
I was wondering that too. I was like, how much did he train for this? You know what I mean? Does he actually run? That's what I was wondering. Does he run all the time?
Yeah, I thought the same thing, but I thought he probably does swim.
It was a long shot.
And they turned his back when he gets there. And then he turns around and he runs in place for a second. I'm like, but he looked good. And I'm telling you, the swimming's where it's at. I know I've got a mentor, dear friend, Pete Hartung in Nashville, Justin's longtime manager, and he's in his 70s, and he swims every morning at 6 a.m. He gets his laps in, and Pete looks like $1 million. And he says, JR, I eat pasta 5 nights a week. I drink wine 6. It's the swimming, you know.
Yeah, swimming's.
It's a
what
great,
I've always heard is what they at my YMCA
here. Goes right into it, doesn't he?
That's like, what he does first thing, and it shocks the system. It just alerts and gets all your shit going, gets all those ketones and all the different amino acids, everything rocking. Yeah, and you get just
full
enough
body workout,
full body, all the the every little muscle working, and then you go about your day and stay active and live normal. And
I like it.
Rock star. But no, I thought the same thing. I thought, man, and then the jogging thing, I said, he's running pretty good. Then I started noticing, I'm like, is that really him? I don't know. It probably is. I'm not knocking it. I bet it is. He's probably in phenomenal shape. He should be.
So good.
He's
I'm sure he is, but he's still, in his
70s.
It's I don't think I never did look good running, but I don't think that I look the same that I ran 20 years ago. And I got a feeling 20 years from now, my stride ain't going to look the same then either. So,
a little hitch in my giddy up.
A little hitch in my giddy up. No doubt. I just started, I know I'm behind on this. Y'all may have seen it. I'm literally on season 1, episode 2, playing catch up, but I will get caught up. White Lotus. I hadn't watched it yet.
Have you ever watched?
And now I'm fascinated. I haven't seen any. I've seen one and a half episodes.
The first, okay, the seasons are different, so they're all different.
Okay.
And yeah, that's some cool stuff. Is that the
so
one
they don't all connect to each other? So I could just start with season 3
ish.
No.
No. You got to
start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Start at one. Start at one.
Okay.
Is that the one with Jason Bateman in it?
He hadn't been in it yet.
Okay, maybe that's season 2. I can't remember. Yeah, it's great.
He hadn't made it yet, and then I think Walter Goggins is in some season. I'm only on the 2nd episode, so I didn't realize this is why Sydney Sweeney got so big. It's because she's in this show.
Enjoy those first couple seasons, man. That's gold.
Yeah,
you're right on.
They are.
This new one's turning out to be okay, but those first couple seasons are gold.
Yes, they are.
I'm looking
forward to the show. Different.
I mean, I'm like
that's the era.
Tammy and I are watching that when we wrap the show up. Like that's what I'm good. It's like after I watched the first, I watched a half of one last night. I was just so tired. I was like, I'll wait till tomorrow and finish it. But I was telling somebody this morning that they had never watched it, and they're like, "So what's going on with it?" And I'm like, I really can't tell you. I don't know. I'm 1.5 episodes in. I have no idea where this thing's going, and I love that. That's fun. It's like
they set it
up. I know y'all know, but I have
Yeah.
no idea, and I know it's going to get
all the
wild.
characters up. They drop you a lot of little nuggets along the way that for you to crumbs for you
Little
to pick
cookie
up.
crumbs.
Yep. So just pay attention to each character's story and who's around them and what's going on because it all plays in, and it's really cleverly done. I thought that whole series
Very
has
cleverly
been so
done.
far.
Yes.
That's what I picked up on just immediately is like, man, why have I not been watching this? I already like everything about it, like the way it's shot, like the movement, like it's I get
the intertwining of different people's lives, but they all kind of do, and there's external stuff, and it's a pretty. I thought it was really interesting. Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Different take.
No
it
doubt.
wasn't your standard. We've seen this 10 times before kind of show.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. One of our MVPs of the show, Mr. Jason Hilton, he sent me this video today. He said, "Did you know this? Did you hear about this? They're making a Hot Tua documentary. Apparently, Hot Tua Girl briefly popped back up today, not for long, but for a little bit. So there's a company, Deadline Bungalow Media Plus Entertainment, is producing this Hot Tua deal, and she made a little video, and I can't find her on social media, and I could not find the video. And I said, dude, I can't find this video you're talking about. He found it.
Are people still mad at her for the pump and dump with the Bitcoin?
Oh, hell yeah. And after you watch this video, I just want to get your reaction on what you think you should think about Hot Tua Girl.
Breaking news. Haley Welch has shocking news.
Haley Welch dead.
The Hawk Tua girl has died.
Ooh.
Hawk Tua girl exposed.
Oh, my bad.
Breaking news. The Hawk Tua girl is not missing. She's pregnant.
Oh my god. Ooh.
What's going on with that Hawk Tua chick? She going to jail?
Anywho, do I get a phone call?
The Hawk Tua girl. No one knows finance quite like Miss Tua.
Get your ass up. We got stuff to do.
I mean,
what?
What? So I think she's just grifting everybody on that. Like she rug pulled everybody with the meme coin and then made her little million or whatever. We ain't heard from her in 4 months almost. Yeah. And then that's the first thing that she pops out, and then apparently took it down. So this documentary's coming out, and I guess they must have her.
She fell victim to terrible management and advisors. I can tell you that. She got taken. The poor thing. Pitiful.
Yeah.
How it works. She ain't smart enough to do all that on her own. She has terrible advisors and mentors and managers. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Yeah, the chat says Biggie, Paul, her 15
Apparently
minutes.
Apparently not, boys and girls. Apparently not.
I think
she made it on our show somehow.
Yeah, again, again, but I think that this may be, once the documentary comes out, I think that'll be the final puff of breath. So if she's able to get anything else, you better do it now.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think her and the Tiger King will do a duet album together here within the next 18 months?
They should.
The in jail Tiger King or that weird swinging couple that took over.
No. The real Tiger King. The real Tiger King. Trump's going to get bored and rewatch Tiger King and let that guy out for the next 4 years. For sure.
I would not be surprised. Sure. I would not be surprised if he got if he did. I really wouldn't.
Great.
I really wouldn't. JR, have you had a chance on seeing any of these promos for WrestleMania with some of these that have been happening on Monday Night Raw? One happened last night, one last week with John Cena turning complete heel and turning against the crowd, basically telling everybody, it's the old angle. Everybody's dumb, screw you people.
But he's never done all that. He's never done that.
No, he is not. It's kind of weird to hear him saying these things because he doesn't really mean it. And it's still a hard sell, but he's trying to sell it.
Yeah. It would be hard. And that's a big underground internet wrestling community forum going around the last day or two since he's doing that. Who is the quintessential babyface throughout the years that never turned? It was obviously Hogan was the biggest babyface ever until he finally turned. But the two names that come up that never turned are Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Tito Santana. And then think about that. Isn't that weird in wrestling? Everybody else at least turned at some point. At some angle, they double crossed somebody or got double crossed and were
right. But those they never changed. They never turned.
No, they were always good guys. Wild. And Hogan was up until that's why Hogan's was such a big deal. Think about this till Cena. I mean, the last one leading up to this turn was Hogan. When's the last time a huge face made a heel turn that out of nowhere? It was Hogan, NWO, and then from then to now, we had that long period where the good guys all looked like military in black outfits and everything, so you really couldn't tell who the good guy or the bad guy was.
Right.
But Cena carried the flag as a face for years, and to do this heel turn now, I don't know if there's been one even close between Hogan's and his. It might be the second biggest outside of that.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair, and I think the story has to build a little bit more.
Yeah,
like they haven't come back to America yet. Right. They've been doing all of these promos overseas, and kudos to those crowds over in Germany and wherever else they've been. Good God, they're ravenous.
Oh, I bet.
They're just going crazy.
I bet.
Yeah,
going crazy, and it's fantastic.
I'm gonna catch up on some of that since I've got it. It's accessible now. I've been on the road, for the past month, so I really haven't got to catch up on stuff. But I'm going to.
I've just been catching up with WWE's YouTube. Does an amazing job. Like they drop stuff all day long, and they're just dropping those promos. So I haven't seen the full shows, but I've just seen them. Awesome. They're 20-minute cuts, and that's what's fun now is that they can come out on Netflix. And they're bringing this heat, and it's 22 minutes, 24 minutes long of the open of this dialogue going back and forth, where that used to be 12 minutes on, when it was on USA or wherever it was at, so much shorter because of commercial breaks and stuff like that. So they don't have that anymore. They can extend out these things a little bit more. It's just fun to see. Belgium. That's right, Paul. I was in Belgium. Just goofy, just flat goofy, those crowds. So, man, it's setting up. It's setting up. I think when Cena comes back to America, that's when it's going to have to really be sold. Like he really, he brought some kid up out of the crowd, made fun of, or didn't bring him up out of the crowd, but they pointed the camera at him. You could see this little kid go from cheering on Cena coming out to just his heart breaking that he had turned. And then he doubled down this week making fun of the same kid. He's going to have to continue to make examples out of kids, I'm afraid, and just piss people. You got to do that, man.
You have to.
You just got to in order to completely completely sell this heel turn.
I mean, and I don't know how far they can go. I mean, could he actually slip a cuss word and be like, "F these kids"?
Well, that's the thing. He hasn't yet, and I think that's building though, because in that promo, the crowd's "F you, Cena," and you can hear it plain as day. And he's made banner back to them about you guys and your idiotic vanities. It just shows I got you, just stuff like that. And
oh yeah,
so yeah, I think it is definitely building to John Cena dropping a profanity.
I wonder if he'll do some kind of turn where he pulls, he comes back to America next, he's a Russian sympathizer or something crazy like they used to. Like they did Sergeant Slaughter. They turned Sergeant Slaughter he was going Iraqi sympathizer. Sergeant Slaughter, a G.I. Joe character. That was crazy.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I
so much heat for that. That was during the damn Gulf War. It was during the Gulf War. I mean, they no holds barred. This is wrestling, y'all. This is wrestling. There ain't no parameters. There ain't no
like Steven Seagal. Him and Steven Seagal always standing in the ring together because he's a big Russian sympathizer, right? Allegedly,
Allegedly.
Yeah, Steven Seagal in Jefferson Parish in a tank taking down a drug dealer.
I wouldn't mess with him.
Hey, think about this too. They announced yesterday the WWE Hall of Fame class for 2025.
Oh dang!
The inductees confirmed so far are one Triple H.
Oh yeah,
Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque, Michelle McCool, wife of Undertaker and WWE star, and the total package, Lex Luger.
Oh yeah,
Lex Luger, man.
And what about
DDP
the timing
will be
of
at that?
Yep, DDP helping him out. Hopefully, I'm sure they're going to get him back for that. But just as of yesterday, 2 additional names added to the roster for the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025 that make me so happy because these were 2 really great workers that had a lot of different gimmicks, and man, they did a lot of work over the years, and I've got some cool stories on both of them. But would be John Tenta and Fred Ottman, otherwise known as Earthquake and Typhoon, the natural disasters. Earthquake, I'll do Earthquake first. So Earthquake, John Tenta, he was actually a professional sumo wrestler before he got in pro wrestling over in Japan.
Okay.
He was from America, and he was a collegiate wrestler. Anybody want to take a guess on where he wrestled collegiately at?
Alabama.
Louisiana State University.
Oh, look at there.
No clue. I didn't know.
The huge tiger, the huge tattoo of the tiger on his arm, that's from LSU.
I'll be dang. Wow.
He wrestled LSU, super heavyweight. Look how big he was. He was agile. He was really good. So he left. I think he only did it for a year or 2. LSU was not a big, it's not a knock, but LSU wasn't then a big wrestling school like Nebraska, Midwest, Iowa. You know what I'm saying? But he did wrestle there. And then he left and went and did sumo and then got into pro wrestling and was a great heel. I mean, he wrestled Hogan and he wrestled all the biggest stars for a long time.
I remember him.
Then he went to WCW and they made him be the Shark or something ridiculous. Same with Fred Ottman, Typhoon. He played several characters. He was they made him do different gimmicks and try to change him up. It was ridiculous, but Typhoon was a big one. But one of the most notable ones is when he went to WCW and he tried to become the Shockmaster, which is the all-time biggest debut fail of all time for any wrestler. It's historically the Shockmaster incident where he's supposed to come through this wall. He's supposed to break down this wall and come through. He's got this big glittery looking, helmet thing, like Star Wars helmet. And as he comes through, they had a 2x4 at the bottom. They forgot to take off his bracing, so he trips on it and he falls through it. The mask falls off. And the voice they had was, and the voice they played, they didn't let him talk in real life. His voice was always a voice from above, and it was Ole Anderson's voice, which everybody knew Ole Anderson's voice anyway. So it was terrible. Shockmaster lasted like 1 week after that. Harlem Heat, I think it was, and British Bulldog and Sid Vicious. And Harlem Heat, they're trying not to break character laughing because the guy fell through the thing and fought. Watch Shockmaster. Everybo's seen it. It's ridiculous.
I got to watch that. I've never seen it.
I vaguely remember. I do definitely remember seeing that. I think recently on the history of the WCW or one of these documentary rabbit holes that I've gone down recently. I remember them talking about that. And I think I do remember it whenever it happened too. That's great because they are definitely Hall of Famers. Big E says that he's pissed they aren't letting that they're not letting Cena cook Cody Rhodes on the mic. Me too. They're obviously, I think they're waiting till they get to America, back to America to do that.
Right.
You know, they know what they're doing, and Triple H has said this is a slow burn, and they just wait. And look, I'm gonna trust him. There's no reason not to.
They're gonna build for a great WrestleMania. It's gonna be great.
It's going to be one of the best
ever.
The greatest, maybe the greatest ever. It'd be awesome if Trump showed up to it.
I'm sure it's in the works.
What a problem it would create.
Wouldn't shock me at all.
When he comes to a stadium, he just flat out screws it up, man. It doesn't matter who it doesn't, not him, any president. When they,
that's a lot.
God almighty. Yeah, you can't get in. You better get in 3 hours beforehand. Just terrible. Well, boys, that's about all I got on tap tonight. Y'all got anything? You got anything else for us?
I think we covered it all. For now.
Does anybody think that Greenland will become part of the United States? Over or under in the next 10 years, Greenland will be part of the United States?
Yes.
No. I will take the under.
It's only like 50,000 people. That's easy to overcome.
And for sure, we could.
Could
we easily take Greenland?
Yeah.
Could we take Greenland and Canada 100%? Are we going to? I kind of hope not, because that means some shit got out of hand if that starts to happen. So I'm going to say no. Big E says yes. So we'll see.
I say we talk to all the countries in the Caribbean that are having trouble and say, hey, I got a deal here.
Let's make a deal.
Be a lot easier for us to bebop around down there if everybody was on the same page. All I'm saying. It's right here in the Gulf or whatever you want to call it.
There ain't no telling what the hell's going to happen in the next 3.5 years. There's just
There's really not.
To even know. But it's moving, baby. It's moving, and it's moving fast.
There you go. Well, there's y'all an hour worth of truth sprinkled in with conspiracy just to keep it interesting. We love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in this week. Boys, always a pleasure to do a podcast with you gentlemen. Thank you, everyone out there in podcast land. We'll see y'all next week.
It's Tigs Tonight.